Hey everyone, Matthew Robinson back again. And first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who came out to the premiere of Drown last night at the time of recording this video. Had a pretty good crowd, about 30 to 40 some odd people. Pretty good for a Friday night. I was pretty impressed. And I'm going to enter Drown into some film festivals. So if you're not a fan of Drown on Facebook, go to the link in the sidebar, whichever way it appears, and become a fan. And I'll keep you updated on DVDs and film festivals and downloads and all that other fun stuff. I think people liked it. I don't think people would tell me to my face, like, I didn't like your movie. But, I think people liked it. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to give a video about. I'm here to give reviews of two movies, both starring WWE superstars. That is 12 Rounds, starring John Cena, and The Marine 2, starring Ted DiBiase. Okay, first of all, let's start with 12 Rounds. I saw 12 Rounds on HBO recently, and let me say this. When I was watching it, I was just kind of thinking, I was cleaning up my room while I was watching it, so I was kind of like, yeah, whatever, it's on. Maybe I'll see some stuff blow up. I don't know exactly why I watched it. I guess I just kind of wanted to see it. 12 Rounds is a pretty bad movie. I want to say that off the bat. But not as bad as you might think. Let me say that if this film was made in the 90s, it probably would have been the #1 movie in America, depending on what week it opened and who its competition was. It really felt like a 90s film, like, action, kind of like the action hero, which is, I gotta say, I miss the action hero. I know superheroes are big and I love superheroes, but I kind of miss the John McClanes and everything like that. That just came in and they roughed up people like one-man armies. I know it's usually unrealistic, and they had some really bad, like, one-man army movies, like Cliffhanger, starring Sylvester Stallone. But, it's still, I wish they had more of those. I feel now with the way they really try to make scripts, the style of writing, generally seen in big Hollywood movies, that it could be okay. 12 Rounds, the acting is pretty much horrible across the board. But I want to give some credit to John Cena. John Cena actually probably gives the best acting performance in this movie, which I was surprised by. He actually isn't that bad of an actor, and I have to just come to terms with that. He's not that bad of an actor, really. He's gotten a lot better since The Marine. I saw him on Psych, too, and he did a good job in that episode. So he's definitely growing as an actor. And he definitely kind of kept the movie from completely falling apart. 12 Rounds has an interesting premise. Kind of like this guy has to do 12 tasks that are timed to get his fiance back, or is it wife, girlfriend. He has to do 12 different dangerous stuff to get his woman back. But the guy who plays the bad guy, the commercials made it seem like he'd probably be the strongest actor in the movie, but he's actually one of the worst actors in the movie. Like, he just, like, his tone, I just didn't like him. He was not a good actor. His wife, John Cena's woman, not that good. Even, I don't remember his name, but the black guy from The Practice, he was also in Tyler Perry's Diary of a Mad Black Woman. He had his moments, but he was pretty bad in this movie, too, which is weird. He usually isn't that bad. But John Cena definitely held the movie together. I think if John Cena was given a good script and a good movie, I think he actually might be able to do something pretty legitimate. But he's got to get a good writer. We kind of saw that with Psych, because they have better writers obviously than whoever wrote 12 Rounds, at least in this situation. So John Cena, I want to say on record that you have a lot of potential. Not that my opinion matters that much, but Also, I wanted to give my review of The Marine 2. Apparently, John Cena had too much pride to do The Marine 2. Now, The Marine 2 is basically like Die Hard in Thailand or some resort. And it actually starts off slightly interesting. In an interview, Ted DiBiase said that he wants to leave wrestling eventually and just become a full-time actor. Ted, I want to be honest with you. Don't quit your day job, which would be wrestling. You're a decent actor. Ted DiBiase is decent, at least with the action scenes, but his more intimate scenes and his more conversational scenes are pretty weak. But he's not the worst actor I've seen, but it's just not that good. Nothing really impressive. But the reason I rented The Marine 2 on Netflix was because I wanted to see some action scenes too. You know, that's kind of why you rent these cheesy, low-budget, direct-to-DVD movies, to see some pretty good action scenes. But that's the major problem with this movie. It's not the acting, it's not the story, it's the fight scenes. They're so oddly choreographed, and you can't really see what's going on. The camera's too shaky. You can't see where the punches are being flown most of the time. It's just, there's some interesting cinematography in the movie, but for the most part, it just kind of falls apart. And then in the end, there's this really bad audio dubbing where they had the actor, I guess, do some audio dubs over a fight scene, and it just, oh, it's awful. And look, Die Hard is the like holy grail of these kind of like hostage movies. One man goes in and saves all these people from this hostage situation. And the one thing that Die Hard did that was so good is that Die Hard stayed isolated. The problem with the Marine 2 is that eventually it's not isolated. Eventually it becomes a situation where he's like running through like the streets of like some Thailand harbor village, and it just completely ruins the aura of the movie. Not that it was like great anyway, but they do a couple interesting stuff in this movie. But yeah. So my final reviews for both it, 12 rounds, I'm going to give a 65 out of 100. For the Marine 2, I am going to give this a failing grade of 58 out of 100. Just, you know, just completely, just some things they did completely ruined the movie from even being a passing movie. So that's my final thoughts. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Until next time, it's on.